From New York, I'm Ed Baig.
And from Los Angeles, I'm Jefferson Graham.
Jeff, how you doing?
I couldn't be better. I was trying to watch something on TV last night, and I couldn't figure out what anything was. Boy,
Right.
I wish there was an app for that.
Yeah, well, there's an app for that. It's called IntoNow, and the idea is when you push a green button on your iPhone, it's going to tell you what you're into now. And
How's it
actually,
work?
I'm sorry?
How's it work?
Well, it's kind of like people will know Shazam, where you hold up your phone while music is playing, and Shazam can identify, based on the audio it hears, the name and title of that song. Well, this app, Into Now, is very similar for television. You hold up the phone, press the green button, and based on the audio it hears, there's essentially an audio fingerprint or signature that it recognizes, and it can identify what that show is. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jeff. You're thinking, don't I already know what show I'm watching?
No, that's not it. It's don't you have the program guide in your satellite or cable that would tell you this?
You could do that. Yeah, you definitely could do that. But I think more to the point is not that you can do this, and there is a kind of cool factor. It's kind of neat that the other day during the goings on in Egypt, I had CNN on, hit the green button, and there was barely any sound from a commentator, yet it was able to detect what that show was. When I switched over to Fox, it knew I was watching the Fox coverage of the same event. So there's a cool factor.
And the little CNN logo and the Fox logo at the bottom of the screen didn't give you a hint to what you were watching?
Well, obviously, I knew what I was watching. The point here is more what you do beyond there. It's your friends knowing what you're watching. This is a social networking app, and the idea is that you can connect with people who love the same shows that you do. You share your feeds over Facebook and Twitter and that kind of thing. Is this for everybody? Of course not. It's cool, but cool only goes so far.
Okay, I think the question is 4 weeks from now, will you have turned it on 3 times?
Other than showing somebody, probably not. Actually, the best response I got to it was a tweet from an analyst we both know, Michael Gartenberg, who said, "What's next? An app that tells you what you're reading."
Yeah. And let your friends find out what you're reading at home too.
Exactly. But it's fun, and if you're a TV junkie, it's kind of cool. And it tells you a description of the episode, and there are links to IMDb and Netflix and that sort of thing. So there's some stuff there, but clearly it's not for everybody.
Okay, now speaking of the iTunes Store, Apple's news this week is that they came up with a subscription plan to charge app developers 30% if they have a recurring program going on, like a Rhapsody, Mog, some of the Daily, which is that new newspaper. Sounds good on its face until the music people started looking at this and saying, "Oh my God, I got to give Apple $3 of my $10 that I'm getting monthly, and I'm already paying most of my money to the record companies to begin with." This sounds like it's going to blow up in Apple's face. I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Rhapsody. They've certainly bristled at this and threatened to bolt. And I definitely think that I agree with you, Jeff. That there's could be trouble here. This is not going to go down easily for a lot of these guys who bank on subscriptions. And Google, by the way, has come out with a kind of an alternative plan that is friendlier to developers.
$1. They take $1 or 10% or something like that.
So, well, $1 is better than $3 if you're a developer who's counting on that extra income.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation. Apple can say, Rhapsody, if you don't want to be in the App Store, don't be in the App Store. And
Yeah.
Rhapsody needs to be in the App Store to stay relevant. So it'll be, I probably the upshot of this is that Rhapsody's rates will go up if they're going to be sold in the App Store.
Could very well be. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't think we've heard the end of this story.
Yeah. Now, wireless world. There's a lot of wireless announcements came out this week.
Yeah.
From Barcelona. Wish we were there.
Yeah, Barcelona is where it's at for cell phone news these days, and there's some interesting developments coming out of there. Sony Ericsson has a phone, Xperia, coming that people refer to as the PlayStation phone, obviously aimed at gamers. LG showed off a phone that does 3D. So some interesting stuff coming, and coming soon from what I gather.
Motorola lets slip that Google is officially starting an iTunes-like music service. There have been rumors about this for about a year, but Motorola confirmed it at the Barcelona convention. that there'll be a music service from Google. So that's another piece of news that came from the show. Well, we'll see what happens. Ed, as always, good talking to you this week. And for USA Today, I'm Jefferson Graham.
And for USA Today, I'm Ed Baig, and we will catch you next time.